Hi, I'm here with Zachary Price. He is the founder and CEO of Blog into Book. Zack's entrepreneurial roots run deep. He started his first business at the age of 10. Zack, can you please tell us about your first entrepreneurial experience?
Yeah, well, it goes back a while now because I'm a pretty old man. When I was 10 years old, really when I was 9 years old, I started collecting baseball cards. Me and my dad and my little brothers, we loved baseball and we liked following the players. So we would go to different baseball card stores around Cleveland, where I was from, and just kind of buying packs and learning about all these different players and whether the players were doing good or bad on the baseball field, their statistics and their teams, their values would go up and down. So I started collecting them, trading with my friends, and I started going to these collectible shows where dealers would have hundreds of cards that they would sell for based on the price that each card was listed for, and the values would go up and down at each show each month. So I just had a great time doing that. I started going to the shows, buying and selling. And remember, I'm 10 years old, so I had to be tough to be taken seriously. And sooner than later, I started realizing, wow, what if I had my own table at these shows and I could sell my own cards to people and make some money off the players that I'm getting in these packs of cards. So I'd have a Ken Griffey Jr. or Kevin Mitchell, and they'd go up as these guys would hit home runs. And one day I just started selling the cards at a show. I signed up with my dad, and we went and sold cards. And then I started thinking, wow, someone is selling all these tables to dealers like me. I'm paying like $50 a day just to see her. Why don't I be that guy? And so I went to the drawing board in my little 10-year-old bedroom. And I tried to figure out, like, okay, if I got 30 or 40 dealers to display their cards, and they each paid me $50 to $100 a table, I could make some money. I just have to find the space to rent these tables. So, you know, I started thinking of ideas, and eventually I went to my school district, and they let me rent out the high school cafeteria. They didn't charge me anything. But I charged every person who came to the show $1, and I got about 30 or 40 tables, and I sold them to dealers. And remember, I'm 10 years old, so, you know, it wasn't easy convincing them. Sometimes I had to get my mom and dad on the phone just to let these people know, yeah, I'm serious about this. But sure enough, we put on a great show, sold about, you know, like I said, several dozen tables, made a decent amount of money for a 10-year-old kid, and that was like my first entrepreneurial experience. And ever since then, I've been starting tons of businesses and just thinking of different ideas.
Wow. And now, how did you get into Blog into Book? Tell us where that idea came from.
Yeah, so when I was in college, I started thinking of different ways that I could make money just selling information, and I tried a bunch of different things. And one of the items that I tried selling was a fitness program that my brother Rob invented, which was for he trained with a lot of football players, so he had a football specific workout plan. And I was selling it on eBay back in the late 90s, when eBay was one of the only online commerce sites, them and Amazon, and people were really buying it and really liking this football workout program. So we started selling a basketball workout program to basketball players, and they really liked it too. So then we started working with experts of different sports, and we started selling workout programs for athletes of different sports all around the world. And that's how I started my book publishing. So now here we are, 2013, and just bloggers are taking over the content business. They're putting out the best content out there. They have huge followings, and I have this publishing background, so I want to publish the best content out there. So naturally, what I found is all the demand is coming from these bloggers. So I set up a separate publishing company called Blog into Book, where bloggers can become authors and have books on the Kindle and iBookstore and everywhere ebooks are sold. And it all started way back in 1999 when I started my publishing company, Price World Publishing, and learned how to publish books. And now here I am publishing bloggers.
Great. And now, what is one of the most effective ways or strategies that you've used to get bloggers to use your services? How do you find bloggers to work with?
Yeah, so it's a really young concept that I'm doing with this Blog into Book. I've only been focusing on it for about 5 or 6 weeks. This sign right here, I got printed up at Tech Week, which was only about 6 weeks ago, and It's a very special sign to me because it's really the only investment I've made into this company yet. So I haven't done any advertising. I've gotten interviewed by a few publications, and I've been just going to networking events and introducing myself to people, and coming up with creative ideas to publish blogs as really cost effectively. And so I've used my network, and some of my mentors have known some bloggers. I know some bloggers personally. I blog myself. And sure enough, I have quite a few projects coming up that are keeping me plenty busy, at least for the short term.
Great. And where is this value coming from for the bloggers?
Yeah, so, for the bloggers, their best asset is their blogging and their personalities and their thought leadership. So, what the problem happens with them is when they want to have a book out there and they try to self-publish. Well, self-publishing is actually pretty time-consuming. It's actually pretty hard, and it's kind of expensive. So once they start mixing with that, it takes away from their blogging. They're starting to use funds. They don't maybe necessarily know how to format a file for the Kindle and the Nook and iOS and Android. They're learning all this on the fly. It's a myth. Self-publishing is easy. It's not that easy. It takes a lot of time. So what Blog in a Book does is provide full servicing publishing. And we take on the cover design, the file formatting. We'll edit and proofread the blog to make sure it reads like a book. And we'll bring them new readers. We'll bring them passive revenue from book sales. And they'll also have a really nice book product that's been professionally published. It's not self-published, that they can be proud of and kind of promote to their following. There's tons of advantages too. We're talking about like SEO. They're going to be listed on Amazon, iTunes, Google. These are the highest ranked sites in the world. So when someone searches for their blog or their name or maybe their subject niche, their book's going to come up front and center. Again, they're not paying for any of this. It's completely free for bloggers. So there's really no risk for them, and they have all these benefits to kind of increase their stature just all around.
Great. So the service is free to bloggers. How do you get paid then?
Yeah, so the service is free to bloggers. We get paid just like any full-service publisher. We're just focused on bloggers. So when a book sells, if their blog gets downloaded on Amazon Kindle or let's say iTunes will pay me the money that's been paid for these blogs. And again, we're talking probably just $2 or $3, $5. We don't like to charge a lot. We want to make it just a way for them to get some revenue. And then we take that money that Amazon or iTunes pays us and we split it up between us and the blogger. Generally a 50-50 split after we make back some of our costs on some initial sales. It's just 50-50 split between us and the blogger. And that way we both win and we both hope the book does well. And it's just a team, a team operation.
And Zach, what is the future of Blog into Book? Tell us your vision for the next 5 years.
Yeah, so Blog into Book's so young, but I've thought about it so much, I just have like a passion for this stuff and I just can't stop thinking about it. And it's kind of how I got into Blog into Book in the first place, because I was publishing everything and now I'm doing Blog into Book. And there's so many things that I can think of that I want to do. I want to automate the process of publishing blogs into books. Right now, there's a lot of manual stuff that I have to do in my team on the back end and working with the blogger, which is fine. We produce some great books, but I see so many ways that we can make it even better. Also, there's just so many different ways we can take content, different kinds of content. Every year or two, the way people put out content is changing. We went from blogs, which were, just super long articles, to now they can be a paragraph or two. They can just be an image or a GIF. They can be a tweet or a series of tweets, maybe a hashtag from a bunch of tweets. They could be Tumblrs. They could be a Medium post. There's just so many different things. So, I have tons of ideas of how to package this content and sell it to bring revenue to these content creators. And it's just going to be interesting to see which venues take off. I see Twitter as really being a lucrative venue to kind of package people's tweets into books. As Twitter becomes bigger and bigger, these tweets, they just fly by you when you're reading them and you don't have time to read all of them. And if you find someone new that's cool, you're not going to read through their thousands of tweets. So, maybe doing something like that is cool. Or, as Tumblr gets integrated with Yahoo and more people use it, just doing Tumblr-specific books might be the way to go. So, as an entrepreneur, I have all these crazy ideas, but the market's going to tell me where things are going to go. So right now I'm going to work with bloggers, maybe work with some tweeters, see how the market accepts those products, and then just kind of bend and break based on that.
Great. Well, Zach, thank you for taking the time to sit down and meet with me. And if you're interested in learning more and connecting with Zack, go to fundology.com.